Okay, hola muchachos. So today the flip video that we're going to be looking at is the subjunctive mood. In your packets you have a guided note sheet. You need to fill in everything on my screen here that's highlighted in yellow in the blanks on your paper as we go along. If at some point I go too fast, obviously just pause the video and then you can hit play when you are all caught up. Okay, so keeping in mind this is somewhat of a challenging topic, however I'm going to do my best to make it as simple and easy as I possibly can for you. We are going to look at grammar from three different perspectives: from the use, from the meaning, and from the formation. So that may be a new approach for you, but I think that it's the most comprehensive way to look at new grammar topics. So we're going to start right off with use. Okay, so the subjunctive is a mood, not a tense. Up until this point, all you've really learned are tenses. You have learned the preterite tense, the imperfect tense, the present tense. Moods are a little different. Moods indicate how the speaker feels toward a specific action. We use this mood to express uncertainty, doubt, desire, and hypothetical situations. Let's look at some examples. Mamá sabe que Pepe toma la medicina. Mom knows that Joe takes his medicine. Mamá quiere que Pepe tome la medicina. Mom wants Joe to take, or literal translation, that he takes his medicine. So this sentence is different because the two actions depend on each other. Just because Mom wants him to take his medicine doesn't mean that he actually will. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there. There's a little bit of a doubt. We're showing Mom's desire for her son to do a specific action, but we don't know if he's actually going to do it or not. So to show this concept of uncertainty or doubt, we conjugate the verb into the subjunctive mood. Now, keeping in mind, within the subjunctive mood, there are a variety of tenses. At level 3, we're really just going to be looking at the present tense within the subjunctive mood. Okay? Okay, so now that we have the concept down, understanding that yes, the subjunctive does exist in English and it does exist in Spanish as well and a whole variety of other languages, let's keep in mind these following points. Number 1, there must be two different subjects in order to use the subjunctive. And in our last sentence, we had Mama and we had Pepe. So we had two different people. Number 2, there must be the word que. Okay, this is going to be a new concept for you. We have to have this word present in order to use subjunctive. Number 3, the first verb must be in the regular present indicative, and it must be what we are going to call a trigger verb. We will get on to that a little bit later about talking about what trigger verbs actually are, and I'll be giving you a list of those, but just keep this in the back of your mind for right now. Number 4, the second verb will be conjugated into the present subjunctive. We learned, obviously, tome in our sample sentence is the subjunctive form. We're going to use this formula to always construct subjunctive sentences. S1, V1, K, S2, V2. Stands for subject 1, verb 1, K, subject 2, verb 2. So we talk a little bit in class about syntax, which is word order, and we've talked a little bit about as well how we can't always translate word for word anymore from English to Spanish because the syntax is different. So this is going to be a big concept. We need to make sure that whenever we write in subjunctive in Spanish that we're following this word order, regardless of the English word order. Okay. Let's move on to meaning. So present tense and present indicative and present subjunctive have the exact same meaning. In our sample sentence above, both toma and tome mean takes. Tome is simply spelled differently in the subjunctive to show that the action may or may not happen. Okay. Now let's take a look at how to form these verbs in the present subjunctive. Okay, there's 3 little steps that we're going to follow. Okay, super easy, just 1, 2, 3. First step, go to the yo form of the verb in the regular old present indicative. Step number 2, drop the o off the verb. Step number 3, switch to the opposite vowel. Okay, so now when we look at these opposite endings, opposite of an A is going to be an E. So the new AR verb endings actually start with an E. Mind-blowing. I know, it's different. The ER-IR verb endings are now going to all start with A's. So take a minute, make sure you get these all copied down. Okay, so look at our examples. The verb tomar. It's now tome, tomes, tome, tomemos, tomeis, tomen. Comer is now coma, comas, coma, comamos, comais, coman. And escribir also takes those A endings. Escriba, escribas, escriba, escribamos, escribáis, escriban. So what about all of our irregular verbs? How are we going to handle these guys? Okay, so first of all, let's just explore one. Let's look at tener. Take a look at it. Tenga, tengas, tenga, tengamos, tengais, tengan. Right off the bat, I hope that you can see the pattern. When you apply the subjunctive endings to irregular yo-form verbs after you drop the O, you have to keep in mind that that irregular stem is now going to occur in all 6 forms. So let's recap a little bit and fill in on the parentheses the irregular yo form of these verbs. Now I'm going to do them right in the subjunctive so we get really used to seeing them. So come on and do these with me. Venga. Haga. Caiga. Whoops. Produzca. Oiga. Ponga. Traiga. Traduzca. Diga. Salga. Ooh, this one's really weird. You maybe never have seen it before. Quepa with a Q. Conduzca. Conozca. Valga. And vea. So, we learned present tense verbs in the first part of the year in the first chapter. So if you don't feel like you really did your best in that chapter, now is that time to spend some extra work and extra time and effort really making sure that you have a solid foundation for these irregular yo form verbs. Because you now know that if you struggle getting to the yo form correctly, then you're not going to be able to conjugate the verb correctly at all in the subjunctive. We don't want that. If you need extra help, please come see me. You know when I'm available. Okay, let's move on to some more irregular verbs. What do we do about kargar-zar verbs? You may be thinking, I remember kargar-zars from the past tense, from the preterite tense. Okay, well, you're right. So it's similar, just a little bit different. So one of the ways in that it's different is that we drop the accents. So kar goes to Q-U-E, no accent. Gar goes to G-U-E, no accent. Zar goes to C-E, no accent. The second way in that it's different is that we are now going to take these changes in all 6 forms. That's why I drew the diagram with the circle in all 6 boxes. Look at our verb buscar. Busque, busques, busque, busquemos, busquéis, busquen. Okay. So, what are some other verbs that are going to take these changes? Pagar, llegar, jugar, almorzar, comenzar, empezar, organizar, practicar, tocar, sacar. And you may be saying, well, why? Why do they even need this? It's all about phonetics, the study of sound. We need to maintain the original sound of the verb in the infinitive, buscar. To keep that hard C sound, we have to change it to a QU. Okay, now we have this fun little way to remember the 6 verbs that are highly irregular. We call them our dishes verbs. These verbs just have to be memorized. They're different. They don't follow the pattern of going to the yo, dropping the o, and switching the vowel. So copy down here. The D stands for dar, I stands for ir, S stands for ser, H stands for haber, E stands for estar, and S stands for saber. So looking at the conjugations, okay, dar is unique because the original yo form is doi. We're not even going there. We're just skipping over that, and we are learning these new 6 forms with the opposite vowel ending. Estar, again, it's an estoy verb, but we're not carrying, we're not going to the yo form, we're memorizing the new endings and the new conjugations. A lot of these verbs end in oi, so like ser, soy, ir, voy. So ser, totally unique, sea, 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 etc., etc. Ir, totally unique, vaya. Whoa, where did that come from, right? It's like totally random, but it's new and we have to memorize it. Saber, again, a little unique. We're not used to seeing sepa, something to memorize. And on the left-hand corner, we have the verb haber, and this one tends to stump people. People are always like, what does this verb mean? This is kind of like the long-lost cousin of ser and estar. It is a verb that means to be, but we only use it when stating the existence of something, like there is or there are. We'll talk more about that in class as we get into some practice. Okay, so that's today's lesson. I know it was kind of a lot. You're going to watch another video adding some more details to the subjunctive, but today we just wanted to focus on conjugations. Okay, adios for now.